Talladega just witnessed something almost nobody saw coming. A YouTube guy in a race car came within a tenth of a second of beating every single ARCA regular at one of the scariest tracks in racing. Now, if you don't know him, his name is Garrett Mitchell, but fans know him as Cleetus McFarland. NASCAR can't even decide what to call him. The official entry list says Garrett Mitchell. The TV broadcast calls him Cleetus. He's the guy who runs the number 30 Ford Mustang Dark Horse for Rette Jones Racing, sponsored by baldeagle.com. He's 31 years old, owns a place called Freedom Factory, and made the jump from making car videos online to actually racing real stock cars in 2025. And every time someone hands him a microphone, fans hold their breath waiting to see what wild thing he's gonna say next. Now here's the thing. Up to this point in 2026, his racing career was a little rough. He crashed out of his Truck Series debut at Daytona after just 5 or 6 laps, finished 37th. Then at Rockingham on April 4th, he ran the higher-level O'Reilly Auto Parts Series in the number 33 for Richard Childress Racing. Started 35th, finished 32nd, 6 laps down. He spun on lap 4, saved it, almost spun a few more times, and finally spun for real on lap 206. He did finish 4th in the ARCA East race that same day, though. His other ARCA runs in 2026 were 11th at Daytona and 20th at Kansas, after running 7th before something broke on his car. So because of all that, NASCAR told him no. They wouldn't let him run the big O'Reilly Auto Parts race at Talladega this weekend. NASCAR's Steve O'Donnell said they need to see more progress first. They want him on short tracks. They want him mixing it up with other drivers. Cleetus's reaction? Way to rub it in. Just kidding. So instead, he ran the ARCA race on Saturday, April 25th, the Alabama Manufactured Housing 200, and his best friend was racing right there with him. That friend goes by Squirrel McNutt online, real name George Siciliano. The two of them have been making YouTube videos together for years, and this was their first superspeedway race together. They kept saying they were gonna shake and bake out there, you know, like the Will Ferrell movie Talladega Nights. That movie is basically the whole reason these guys started racing in the first place. But there's a much deeper story here. Both of them lost a really close friend in December. Greg Biffle, the 19-time Cup Series winner. Biffle was the one who showed them that two YouTube guys could actually become real racers. He helped Cleetus deliver supplies by helicopter to people in the Appalachian Mountains after Hurricane Helene back in 2024. That's how close they got. And before he passed away, both Cleetus and Squirrel made him a promise. They told him one day they'd race together at an ARCA event. Saturday was that day. That's why Cleetus keeps yelling, "Be like Biff, be like Biff" on his radio. It's for him. Okay, the race itself. Cleetus started 20th. The pole sitter was Gio Ruggiero, who took off and led from the green flag. But Cleetus didn't waste any time. He moved through the pack and got himself into the top 10 really fast, settling into 7th place. Took 30 laps before the first caution came out, when Allie Owens crashed in the tri-oval. After a restart penalty hit Jack Wood and Taylor Reimer, Cleetus suddenly found himself running 2nd at the competition caution, right behind Ruggiero. His team got on the radio explaining the rules, telling him exactly what to do to take the lead. Cleetus's answer was pure Cleetus. He said he loves nothing more than a good old drag race. Then, with about 30 laps to go, it happened. Cleetus took the lead, and his radio reaction went absolutely viral. He screamed, "Holy things!" Then immediately followed it with, "Be like Biff, be like Biff, be like Biff," for Greg Biffle. Carson Hoshvar was watching from pit road and got on the radio just to tell his friend how loud the crowd got. The TV broadcast actually interviewed Cleetus while he was leading under caution, and he was not playing humble. He told them straight up, "Mark my words, I am winning this race." Ruggiero tried to take the lead back on the next restart, got too far up high, and Cleetus blew right past him. The crowd went nuts. Then more chaos. A 2-car crash in the back brought out another caution. Cleetus got on the radio and said, "How F? Lucky I am." Then quietly added, "I wish Biff was here." With 12 laps to go, Jake Bowman was pushing Cleetus to the lead, but the 2 cars touched and Bowman spun. The race somehow stayed green. Cleetus dropped back to 5th. Isabella Robusto moved up to the lead. And then the big one hit. Will Kimmel was pushing Thomas Annunziata up high. Annunziata didn't have a working radio. He got turned down into Ruggiero, and that started a massive wreck. Cars went everywhere. Cleetus barely squeaked through, but several drivers got destroyed, including his best friend Squirrel McNutt. After they cleaned everything up, somebody else even crashed under caution, which delayed things even more. So now it's a one-lap shootout for the win. Robusto restarted on the lead with Ruggiero and Kimmel behind her, both with damaged noses. Cleetus restarted fourth. Down the backstretch, Ruggiero fell back. Kimmel took the lead for a second, then he dropped back too. Gus Dean and Cleetus split him going through the final corner, side by side, banging doors. They actually made contact, both of them lost speed. And Andy Jankowiak, who hadn't been anywhere near the front for most of the race, found a hole on the high side, built a huge run, and came flying past both of them right at the line. He won by 0.111 seconds, Cleetus second, Gus Dean third, just 0.03 behind Cleetus. Andy Jankowiak, the winner. This was his 48th career start and his first win ever. He works as an occasional pizza delivery driver. He climbed out of the car and said, "I've done this before, I just always wake up." His radio was so staticky he thought there was still one lap to go. He won the thing. He put on a green bandana for his best friend Steve Mendoza watching at home and called himself the luckiest guy in the world. Now Cleetus, breaking down what happened on that final lap, said this. "Looking at that, I feel like I needed to back up a smidge. I left the number 71. I tried to go down. I didn't have enough room. We started beating each other up, and then Andy passed us, got the W, congrats to him." Then he called it the greatest race of his life. Said his team at Rette Jones Racing and his spotter Kevin Hamlin did an amazing job, and gave the line that everybody's now repeating. He said, "Honestly, probably the most fun I've ever had with my clothes on." Robusto finished fourth, Ruggiero fifth, Taylor Reimer sixth, despite getting 2 penalties early on. Sean Corr, Ryan Vargas, Jack Wood, and Daniel Dye rounded out the top 10. ARCA takes the next week off. Their next race is May 8th at Watkins Glen, the first road course of the year on Fox Sports 2. Cleetus's next O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start is at Nashville on May 30th in that number 33 Chevy. Then he runs Michigan to close out his season. The dream is the Daytona 500 someday. But after this run, the question hanging over everything is simple. NASCAR keeps telling Cleetus he isn't ready. He just led laps and finished second at Talladega in a race that ended with a 3-wide photo finish. The argument that he's jumping levels too fast doesn't really hold up anymore. The fans saw it. The TV cameras saw it, and NASCAR saw it too.